Vanilla Cinema, created by she, her. How we doing out there? Good, great, grand, and wonderful. As you see on your screen, I can't believe you're joining me today. The worst podcast in the history of podcasts, the very worst, is this show. Poorly ran, poor quality, the lot of it. Certainly you could be listening to something more entertaining, more informative. I mean, I don't mind promoting for, I think I do mind. It's a lot of time. But you know what? Had a good time. Had a good time with this one, as you see on your screen, your dial. Phantom of the Mall, Eric's Revenge. I just knew that I was going to have a good time. And, when I saw the year that it came out, I went, all right. God damn it. About time to see a good bad movie, or a bad good movie, or just a good movie, depending on your perspective. I know you toxic diehard horror fans really truly believe that movies like these are good movies, And I'm not going to say that they're not enjoyable and you can't rewatch them over and over and over again, but I don't necessarily think that makes it a good movie. Or maybe I have been misled. Maybe my toxic conditioning that I'm still trying to rewire and evolve, maybe it is me that has it all wrong. And if you can watch a movie and over, then it truly is great, as opposed to, somebody would say Saving Private Ryan or films of that ilk, you know what I'm saying? Like a Schindler's List or a Minari or a French Dispatch, good. Yeah, whatever. Are you still with me? Hopefully you've turned it off by now. Phantom of the... I was looking forward to it. Didn't know... I hadn't known much about it. I do consider myself a horror film fan. I didn't know much about it. And such a good time. And I had my chick who does like movies but doesn't watch a lot of movies. Specifically, she's all right with horror, but she hasn't watched a lot of horror. So, I think as horror fans, stuff like Phantom of the Mall, Arrow Video presents Phantom of the Mall, Eric's Revenge. I think films like that, unless you're in on the joke, or you've seen a lot of these, you're conditioned to know how it goes. XYZ, you're here for the kills and the boobs and the, whatever, the hilarious characters. And there were definitely a couple in this one. You wonder, I'm kind of on eggshells as we're watching it, even though, whatever, just because she'll be cool because I think it's cool, not saying that I'm manipulating her opinion or anything, but she'll sit through it, it's nothing too over the top, but she had a good time, as I blather on, she had a good time, and I had a really good time. So awesome. I mean, anytime a movie has its own theme song, which may be a little politically incorrect in these times, but if a movie has its own theme song and it's a horror film, those are the good old days, babe. Those are the good old days. Maybe not necessarily be the behind the scenes and the toxic masculinity and all that noise, but in terms of how a film was made, giving it your all, and the practical effects in this, and the hilarious, wardrobe choices in terms of our villain, but the prosthetics on our villain was really fucking good. And what's so funny is I think I remember this film from way, way, way back, but I don't, nothing. That doesn't mean anything anymore. In fact, the older I get, even films that I've seen 10, 12 years ago, it's almost like I never watched them. That's what it's getting to. I've polluted my mind with so many visuals and so much media in general that it's to some extent, and I've said it on the show before, it's devalued, a lot of the images that are coming in, and it's a bummer. It's a bummer, if you listen to a ton. I'm just an art freak. Give me all the music, give me all the movies, give me all the TV shows, give me all the books, and after a certain while, you're just gonna start losing that stuff, and it's a bummer because it's having, when you look back and you're like, fuck, man, like I don't know, pick your film, and you're like, well, yeah, I've seen it. Well, okay, talk to me about it. Oh, fuck, I guess I only remember a couple things here and there, but whatever. But this is the good old days of horror filmmaking, maybe towards the tail end of the slasher and horror icon boom, but nonetheless still a extremely fun popcorn watch, and you get to laugh at some of the outlandish characters, and having watched two different cuts now, I'm so pissed that when I did watch it, I watched the theatrical cut, only come to find it, because I don't like knowing too much about a film before I go in, and I just popped on the first disc, the theatrical version, and then come to find out there's a cut called the Fan, PHAN, the Fan cut, which is the TV cut and the theatrical cut edited together. And fuck, I just should have soon watched that, because it is on some, there are two completely different openings. One starts out with a murder, the other starts out with a man doing rings, Olympic rings for a gymnasium to just three friends. Apparently the three friends just showed up to watch Eric do the rings. Let me tell you a little bit about Phantom of the Mall. This box set was so awesome. Between the poster and the booklet, Arrow Video outdid themselves again. And it's so funny because, like, in the annals of time, does Phantom of the Mall hold? Whatever. It's still a great fucking time. There was a nightmare at the mall. Eric, the Phantom struck. That's the tagline on top of the case. For high school sweethearts Eric and Melody, love's young dream turns into a nightmare when Eric apparently dies in a fire which engulfs his family home. It was well written. We'll get there in a second. 1 year later, and Melody is trying to move on with her life, taking up the job at the new Midwood Mall along with her friends. But the mall, which stands on the very site of Eric's former home, has an uninvited guest, a shadowy, scarred figure who haunts its air ducts and subterranean passageways, hell-bent on exacting vengeance on the mall's crooked developers. Oh, well, that's kind of a big spoiler there, boys. Ladies and boys and ladies, damn. Directed by Richard Friedman and featuring star turns from Pauly Shore and Morgan Fairchild. That was a star turn for Morgan Fairchild, this movie. Phantom of the Mall, Eric's Revenge swoops onto this packed edition, which proves that Arrow Video's love for the 80s slasher fare never dies, and ain't that the fucking truth. So, this box set was it. Who does Phantom of the Mall star? Well, give me a moment. You got Derek Rydell, Derek Rydell, who plays Eric. Eric, you're giving the company to Eric. Carrie Whitman plays Melody. Morgan Fairchild plays Karen. Fucking Karen Wilton. Jonathan Goldsmith plays Harv Posner. Rob Estes plays Peter Baldwin. Eric Baldwin. Peter Baldwin. Pauly Shore plays Buzz. It was so funny. Like, I kept, like, when I was just kind of jotting down little hilarious things that I found about the movie, I kept on saying there's no way Pauly Shore's name is Buzz, but it is the truth. Pauly Shore's name is Buzz. And I think because because my chick is a little bit younger than me, I don't think she totally understood like the Pauly Shore boom there was in the 90s. So, I mean, not that I wasn't, for someone who grew up in the 80s and obviously in the 90s, like, I never got into, like, some things that other people got into. I was a very weird child. Like, you know, like, everybody loved Encino Man, and I was like, oh, well, it's okay. You know? Oh, you love the Weasel? No, not really. I don't really like to do the Pauly Shore Weasel. But nevertheless, I knew who Pauly Shore was, so to see him as a fucking yogurt helper at fucking the mall, it was, you know, it was kind of, and he wasn't like completely over the top. I mean, there was one scene where he shows his asshole in this to create a distraction, but in terms of his mannerisms and the way that he spoke, his character is goofy and he is like the comedic relief in this, but it wasn't over the top like we have, you know, known Pauly Shore to be in The Army Now and Son-in-Law and, you know, Encino Man and shit like that. So, but anyway. So Pauly Shore played Buzz. Kimber Sissons played Susie. Suze. I don't know why, but after a while I got tired of Melody being like, okay, see you, Suze. All right, Suze. I hate Suze. I don't know. It makes no sense. It's just a fucking tick that I have. Gregory Scott Cummins plays Christopher Volker, our villain, our B villain, not our A villain. Tom Fridley plays Justin, and Ken Foree plays Akari. Screenplay by Scott J. Schneid, Tony Mickelman, and Robert King. 3 people to write Phantom of the Mall. Story by Scott J. Schneid and Frederick R. Ulrich. DP on this one, Harry Matthias. I thought the cinematography it's a well put together film. Like, that's what I think I said, 10 minutes ago. Like, it could be just a good film maybe my conditioning is like, oh, well, it's a bad film, but I don't know. I laughed, I cried, I clapped. I did not cry, and I did not clap, but I did have a good ass time, and I did laugh. You know, like, nothing like a good late 80s, early 90s sex sequence with a lot of chest hair kissing. You know, nothing like that. It's great. Set to perfect music, you know. And our shattered dreams in the heart of darkness. I think one of the songs in this that they played 2 or 3 times, which is Melody and Eric's song, is called The Heart of Darkness, and it is cheese ballad to the max, baby. And I loved it. But you got to have these films every now and then, and it looks good and polished. Some of the TV segments, I mean, you know, obviously Arrow Video does their best job to try to restore it the way that the best they could, but the theatrical cut is in significantly better transfer quality than the fan cut or the TV cut, because there's 3 versions on this, packed to the gills with bonus features, baby. 3 versions of the film on this. Well, I mean, technically 2 and then 1 blended together. We're blended. You just quoted blended on the show. Director of photography, Harry Matthias. Music by Stacy Widlitz. Yeah. Listen to these bonus features. 4 commentaries. One with director Richard Friedman, moderated by filmmaker Michael Felsher. Another commentary with disc producer Ewan Kant and film historian author Amanda Reyes. Interviewed with composer Stacy Widlitz and associate producer Robert J. Coster. You got I think it's like a half-hour long Shop Till You Drop, the making of Phantom of the Mall, brand new making of documentary featuring interviews with director Richard Friedman, screenwriters Scott J. Schneid and Tony Mickelman, actors Derek Rydell and Gregory Scott Cummins. So you got Eric and Christopher, so the would-be villains. Filmmaker Tony Caden and special makeup effects creator Matthew Mungle, which I thought he did a hell of a job. Hell of a job on Eric's face. Eric? Yes, Eric's face. The Vandals Go to the Mall, which, as aforementioned, there was a theme song for Phantom of the Mall, and it was done by the Vandals. And they thought nothing of it when they submitted the song, and it turned out that the producers just fucking loved it and went bananas for it. We're going to use it for the closing credits, and the rest was history. But there's a, 15 to 7 minute Vandals Go to the Mall interview with Joe Escalante of punk band The Vandals on the creation of the film's theme song. You have alternate and deleted scene, trailers, image galleries, Scott J. Schneid and Tony Mickelman's original script, and associate special effects storyboards by Alex Gillis and Tom Woodruff Jr. Jesus. And I am sputtering because I'm pissed that I didn't look at the Scott J. Schneid and Tony Mickelman's original script and associated special effects storyboards. I watched everything but that. Fuck me. Hate it. So stupid. God damn it. Phantom of the Mall, Eric's Revenge. A year after her boyfriend Eric burns to death in a mysterious fire. A year after her boyfriend Eric burns to death in a mysterious fire, Melody vows to put her traumatic past behind her. But the past is not ready to let Melody go. Oh no. When Melody and her friends get jobs at the new mall, haunting reminders and inexplicable events begin to occur. With the help of a newspaper photographer, who goes by reporter in this, she learns the truth about Eric and the trail of grisly murders at the mall. So it turns out, Melody, a year prior, she was involved in a fire at Eric's house. Eric? Yes, Eric. And Eric, it was just so funny because, like, it was a perfect evening. It was a perfect evening for Eric and Melody. They came home. The parents were asleep. Eric was trying to get that to make sex to Melody. He was trying to be not fucking gross and a pig about it. So Eric wanted to make sex to Melody, and while they're making sex, just randomly, a giant fire breaks out, and they didn't know about it, and they get fucking, the only one that gets out of there is Melody, and it's because fucking Eric tossed her through a window to her safety off the second story. Just get the fuck out of here. And Eric doesn't survive. But what I liked about the writing is that I thought it gave, I mean, when you see what Eric goes around, I'll tell you here in a second, but I'd say that's pretty good cause for revenge if a house was burned down with people in it to make room for property at the mall, which, I mean, you're going to have to suspend disbelief a little bit that one house was standing between a giant mall being built and not, but, you know, here we are. But, you know, wouldn't you be mad if the developers and the money behind the mall fucking hired someone to kill you and your whole family, burn you and them in your house all down? Well, I'd say it's a good cause for vengeance, wouldn't you? I would myself. And so naturally, Eric needs to go after the people that did it, and the people that did it are opening their new mall, the Midwood Mall. Morgan Fairchild and what was his name? Who played fucking Harv? Jonathan Goldsmith. Morgan Fairchild and Jonathan Goldsmith, with the help of sleazy Gregory Scott Cummins as Christopher Volker. What a fucking villain name, right? 80s villain name, Volker. What were some of the kills that I liked as I derail and go back and forth? Derek Rydell, Jonathan Goldsmith, Rob Estes, Pauly Shore, Kerry Whitman, Morgan Fairchild, a lot. All right, let's talk about the character of Eric a little bit, because, I mean, it's pretty cut and dry, right? Fucking Melody loves Eric. Eric loves Melody. Well, Melody thought that Eric burned down with the house and hasn't seen him since, but, of course, Eric is still alive and lurking in the mall doing creepy shit and killing people. And there's so many things about the mall that don't make sense to me. I'm not necessarily sure if this is a 24/7 mall, but it feels like it. And there's also just like random club dance parties that are in this mall that apparently when you're working, you're allowed to just step away from work and go to the dance club and have a good time or whatever. Or I'm just missing the part where we're having a complete location change and time change. And, I mean, when you watch it, you're just like, wait a minute, what? This is a random-ass scene. Like, you get it in terms of the plot, but you don't know why it's taking place at the place that it's taking at. Like, Pauly Shore is at the dance club in 2 different outfits, mind you, and I can't tell if it's at the mall or off-site or when it's happening. But, you got to suspend disbelief and have a little fun, babe. Have a little fun. Let's talk about Eric's wardrobe and his, would you say iconic, infamous, or not at all memorable? You be the judge. He's got, so he was burned down in a fire, right? Well, half his face is burnt. Phantom of the Opera is Phantom of the Mall. Or I believe the politically incorrect line that is uttered in the song is, or some retard in a hockey mask. I think is what was said. I don't know. I didn't. That's, but funny nonetheless. Not funny because they're using the R word, and I actually hate the R word more than most people do. But different time, I can't. It's fucking, what was this, 89? It was when Eric took his revenge upon the mall because the developers burned down him and his family in their home, and only Melody was left to survive. And, of course, a reporter / photographer just, he's got a whiff that something stinks, is something afoot, and it stinks. And, well, they get to the bottom of it. So let's just talk about Eric and the iconic, infamous, not at all memorable. He has a baseball cap, a black baseball cap. Half his face is burnt. At one point in various scenes, and some not, he carved away a piece of a mannequin's face, and that's what he wears when he becomes the Phantom. But I'm not necessarily sure. I think he just picks and chooses when he's going to wear it and when he doesn't want to wear it. There's no rhyme or reason to it. I wish I could say that when he's about to go do devious shit, he puts on the mask, but that's not true. He does it. He kills people with and without the mask. Or maybe I'm making that up. I don't know. Maybe I'm manufacturing that idea. I don't think that I am. But he has a baseball cap, all black baseball cap. Half his face is burnt. A varsity jacket. Okay? A varsity jacket. Different T-shirts. He changes the T-shirts under it. But at one point, it's a Nike T-shirt. And I can't believe, I was just kind of shocked. I was like, really? Nike signed off on this? Does Nike even know? Do they even care? But he's wearing a Nike T-shirt, a varsity jacket, jeans, okay, and he runs through the air ducts and kills people. Yeah, and robs from the very mall that apparently, even in late 89, they don't have cameras or anything. They just have these mall cops, which are armed, which is strange as well. I swear to God, at one point, I thought the mall was the same mall from Chopping Mall. Have you all seen that one? Chopping Mall? That's a good bad one. Anyway, I don't know. Probably just because it was in a mall. That's the only reason why I'm like, it looked like Chopping. That's how stupid I am. That's how dumb this fucking show is. That's how dumb your fucking host is. Oh, it looks like Chopping Mall. Must be the same mall. And I should know better. That's the worst part. I should know better. What do you even mean? What do you even mean? It could be a fucking mall in fucking Arizona. What the fuck are you talking about? There's a kill sequel. Yeah, I think one of my favorite parts, which might be weird to some people or just as hilarious to others, is when Eric, some evenings, I assume this is when all the patrons have gone home and they're sleeping for the night before the mall gets back to business tomorrow. He's doing punches and kicks on a heavy bag, And I love that there's kicks as well. For whatever reason, that means the world to me. and makes it just as more ridiculous and enjoyable to watch is that he's throwing punches and kicks. He's a real good karate guy. He's good. He knows how to use his kicks. That's not and from the film that can't be taught. I'm telling you, as cheesy as some of the sequences are, I can tell the dude fucking throwing the punches and kicks knows what he's doing. I can tell. Great fucking weight distribution, body movement, fucking foot movement. I know a thing or two about that, and I was like, and it made it way more enjoyable, way more hilarious to see him putting in work on the heavy bag. And he has a full body gym, because naturally apparently this mall has everything. It has a pet shop where you can get snakes and throw it into a toilet, and then for an unsuspecting villain that you got away because you shot him from a rooftop with a crossbow, and now he's in the toilet, which apparently it's dark in this toilet, so he has to hold a fucking lighter. And I don't think I forgot to mention that there's a snake in the toilet, right? And then this python rises up from the toilet and bites the parking lot raper in the dick. Yes, there's also a parking lot raper in this that is not the villain. He's just a random raper. He's just a random raper. But you can get everything at this mall. You can get a full body gym, a python, a crossbow, any field or nature goods that you may, everything in this fucking mall, bringing commerce to the city of Midwood or wherever the fuck they are. But anyway, he's got a full body gym. Those sequences I thought were hilarious. Like at one point when after he takes capture of Melody to tell how much he loves her, and they got to be together with his completely different voice. Than when you see him in the flashback sequence, a completely different voice. And for whatever reason, I find it to be perfectly hilarious. Perfectly hilarious for what it's called, Phantom of the Mall, Eric's Revenge. That's what his voice needs to be, if you ask me. And if you haven't seen it, I think it's and you don't want to pop money for the physical media because you're not a physical media person. It's on Arrow Player right now or Prime. You have no excuse to see how awesome this movie is. But when he's confessing his love for her and then it goes awry because Melody loves a news reporter photographer that she's known for 5 seconds. So turns out that if you aren't really dead and your significant other thinks you're dead, it only takes about a year for them to get over you. A year and 5 seconds to fall in love with someone else. But Eric, you're giving the company to Eric. He goes apeshit. Sets C4 to the mall. I guess we're doing a couple of spoilers here, but fuck, it was such a fun ass movie. But when she wakes up after being held captive in his mall cave, she comes up to him and he's doing lap pulls. I don't know why, but that's so great. Lap pulls with his fucking Nike shirt. There's so much to love about this film. Everybody plays it straight. Nothing is like severely over the top. Even the comedic relief, Pauly Shore. So round of applause all around. All around. I don't do like numbers or any fingers up or whatever on this show, but Phantom of the Mall, Eric's Revenge, the Arrow video release. Not only was every version of the film great, but the bonus features were great. Even the interview with the Vandals, like you could just tell fucking, what was his name, Joey, I think. Even he just a good guy. 4 fucking commentaries on this motherfucker. So, Phantom of the Mall, Eric's Revenge, starring Derek Rydell, Carl Whitman, Morgan Fairchild, Jonathan Goldsmith, Rob Estes, Pauly Shore, Kimber Sissons, Gregory Scott Cummins, Christopher Volker. Gregory Scott Cummins plays Christopher Volker. Why are you doing this? Tom Fridley, Ken Forsey, directed by Richard Friedman, screenplay by Scott J. Schneid, Tony Mickelman, and Robert King. And just to reiterate, directed by Richard Friedman. Yep. Such a great box set. Poster's fucking great. Reversible poster. And I like both, which is such a bummer because the original movie poster is hilariously awesome, and the artwork is just as, if not better. I can't decide. I go back and forth. Ellis Cinema, Phantom of the Mall, Eric's Revenge, Arrow Video, available now. Get that physical media so we can have it for at least another 20 years, at least 20, so that I'm too old to give a fuck. That's how selfish I am. Ellis Cinema, we're gone. Such a good box set. Phantom of the Mall, Eric's Revenge. Please buy this. Keep showing Arrow love.